I see.
I mean, but I ain't gonna hold you. I did give up some pussy off of somebody just really having Dr. Akbar's book. And if y'all was in Tallahassee, y'all know who I'm talking about. That was the here go the fucked up thing. That was literally the only book that he had. He was not Pan-African at all. I don't know how I got set up, but when I met this man, he had Dr. Akbar's book. He was talking about reading the book, and I'm like, oh, I can fuck with this. Yes.
No, I had a girl that I wanted to date. I had a girl that I wanted to date. She was on the track team.
Okay.
And I had been in like several classes with this girl. I was so like in love with her, but again, even before like this happened, this was a little bit before my little transition, and then after too. Okay. So I'm still like hanging out with her and stuff like that.
Okay.
And one night we just get together and we just like going at it on the floor, like tonguing each other down, and I'm just like, stop. I'm like, stop.
Why?
Because like
not you got a conscious dick now. Hold on.
What?
You got some conscious pain?
Man, look, I regret it.
You know what?
I regret it because
she wasn't conscious enough to get the pain?
No, it wasn't that.
Oh.
It was that I was like, I wanted to take her seriously.
Oh, okay. All right, let's not laugh at that.
I wanted to like really like be in love with this girl.
I feel you.
But I was like, the way we doing it, like, cause I had done it a lot of times.
Yeah, I feel you.
Like the way we doing it, this ain't the way. And because
but who says so?
Me.
You can't fuck somebody on the first night. I mean, not that it's the first night, but you can't fuck somebody on the first night and build a life with them.
No, it was just. I think at the time I was like trying to see what she wanted.
Oh, you wanted to actually understand her mind and everything.
Yeah, and I could have had it like easy because she wanted it, but and from that exchange, she felt like I didn't want her.
Correct. As most women would at that age.
And it was hard to rope her back in, right? So I ended up losing her, right? And looking back now, that was a mistake. But like I said,
well, not a mistake. It's just a life lesson. I think, yeah, I think you handled that the right way because, like you said, that was your practice and discipline, so to speak. Like you were like, no, I'm trying to be this kind of man. I'm starting to walk. So,
yeah. And I mean that was like that's you look back at the grad photo, you see all the folks from FAMU that don't got together, got married, and they got the FAMU wedding, the family, and you be like,
not you fumbled bad with conscious pain. Yeah. Damn. Yeah. That's gonna be a quotable moment.
Yeah. So that happened. So.
All right. Okay, so I have no idea how long we've been recording because we got a little janky with the setup.
Yeah.
So I want to get to the current version of you.
Okay.
And I want to get to some fun. Okay. You know, life is about balance. Okay. You know, it ain't all consciousness.
Most definitely.
Cheeks do get clapped from time to time. Yeah. Okay, so you graduate from FAM and you live in Senegal and now you're back in America. Yeah. So let's talk about your manhood from like making the decision to leave America and live in Senegal, a Muslim country.
Mm-hmm.
A non-English speaking Muslim country.
Yes. Francophone, Wolof. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was a continuation of consciousness.
Okay.
I was very on the right or the left, however you want to call it. I was very extreme in my views, and I almost didn't get selected to go on this trip because the girl said, "Oh, he has a Superman complex. He can't save Africa, yada yada." And at the time, I would have never known this if me and my professor wasn't like this.
You would have never known what?
That the girl was not going to select me.
Okay.
But me and my professor was like this because I was learning from him. And this is how. And whenever I'm around, like, I mean, I don't know if you can kind of see with your parents. I'm like, when I'm around them, I'm I'm listening. I'm a sponge. I'm a sponge for information when I'm around people, adults, especially people that I look up to. So me and my professor were like this, and he was like, "No, because he was one of the advisors on the trip.
Okay, cool.
He was like, "Nah, you have to select him. He has to go."
Right.
Like maybe that is true, but let him have the experience.
For sure, because the experience will teach you. You can't say that much.
Man, when I went there,
Don't say much. You don't want to be safe.
Right? That was another mind explosion.
Yeah.
Like experiencing that for the first time was like, oh my God. It wasn't even like, it was like these people are driving Beamers. They got the latest iPhone. They got 5-story houses. They own the land and the building.
Okay.
They got businesses. They black policemen, black lawyers, black. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And so that opened my mind completely. That moved me a little bit to the center. I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm seeing Senegalese girls got the weaves on them. They
Sure do.
They got the, they scandalous too. Some of them.
We gonna leave Senegalese alone.
No,
I have so much Senegalese friends in LA.
No, they my babies. No, they my babies.
Okay.
But ask me like a year ago, I was like,
oh, I know we ain't gonna win. I'm glad we waited a year before I got you on the podcast.
Yeah. So, but that having that experience, that led being conscious led me to this trip. Because everything around me it lined up, and thank God I went on that trip because I ended up connecting with the family and the people in the village that we worked with. I was Skyping them every day, I was like showing them like, okay, I'm going to class. Look at my classroom, so. I had built so much of a relationship with them. I planned to go back the following year. So I paid for my own trip to go back the following year. And then the following year I went back, and then that trip I said, 2 or 3 years I'm going to live here. And mind you, by the time when I was there, I also met a woman from Baltimore, black woman from Baltimore who married and started a school there. She had a
okay, cool.
And from there, I kept in touch with her too.
Okay.
And as soon as I graduated from FAMU, I was like, is the internship still available? She said, no, but we're hiring. You have to be here though, to get a job. I was like, well, say no more. And I just showed up. And she was like, oh, you came? I was like, yeah, give me the job. And so I just wanted to see how black people live outside of America, to kind of get, and also to kind of get a taste of what black people lived like before slavery.
Right.
And then also I wanted to, I'm scouting. I'm scouting places that I want my children, my whatever, places that I want to be for the rest of my life.
Your legacy. Yeah. So I'm a little spoiled because I'm Jamaican.
Yes.
And even when we moved to Tennessee, like Tennessee has Fisk University, Meharry, Medical College, TSU was a public college, and I lived with and Jamaica was all black, Nashville was all black, so what people identify as black excellence, that's like literally all I knew. And then in Jamaica, like I come from a family of professionals, doctors, lawyers, police officers, all this stuff in Jamaica. And then in America, most of the first generation that came with the medical route. So nurses, doctors, that's how we ended up at Meharry.
Yeah.
Everybody was going. Granddaddy, dad, uncle, my sister, like people are still going that route. Yeah. So Africa is closer to Jamaica than America, but Africa is still not anything that you know. Yeah. Like even if you visit for a little bit, I know that when you get there, the veil, every time you go, veils get pulled back, but living there is very different. So
I tell people, when people say they know about Africa because they visited, I tell them, no, you don't.
Okay.
No, you don't. Yeah. Until you live there, rub elbows with people, have to do business, you have to depend on somebody to do a job for you to be comfortable or okay. Until you have that experience, until you date and have friends. Even if you go there with your mate, you go there with your partner, and you live, you might not still be getting up. When you have to date and build friendships with people, that's when you know a place. Right. Look at here. I know Senegal like my hand. Right.
Okay, so how does Senegal affect your manhood? You lived there for how long? For people to get context.
7 years.
So how did being in Senegal for 7 years affect your manhood?
Man, look.
Or your views on manhood?
Well, I went there. I had already transitioned. Like I keep using this line, right? This linear line. I moved a little bit more to the middle before I got there, right? I had stopped wearing red, black, and green all the time.
You added other
started dressing like Malcolm and Sam Cooke and you know Martin Luther King.
For those that don't know, what does that look like?
Oh, with the suit.
Okay.
I even wore the skinny tie. It wasn't exactly the skinny tie that they wore, but it was a slimmer tie than the normal one. You know, I made sure that my clothes were clean. I wanted to look like a man. And then when you get to Senegal, you see like it's just like being at an HBCU. Like people dress to the nines.
That's true.
Like you walk on the street, people going to school, people going to business, people going to work. People gonna be just nice.
Yes.
Like don't think you're gonna go to Africa and nah, they fly over there now. Fool yourself. They really fly. And you be
I did. I was in my car and I couldn't get in the club, y'all, because I had on some sneakers and they was like, nah, bro.
Yeah.
Nah. Everybody looked like they was in a BET music video and I showed up in my sneakers.
What? So
yeah.
So that's my look kind of, you know, I had a brush cut too. I cut my hair off, but I had already been in the jazz band, so I was already kind of cutting my hair and all that kind of stuff. But as far as how I felt the man should look for me, how I felt I should look as a man, that changed. I was still operating off of like taking my relationships with women seriously.
Okay.
What I think. What happens with me a lot is I build my friendships too. Most of my friendships, my close friendships, are with women.
Okay.
And that's been for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And it like maybe before I started worrying about consciousness or learning or being smarter, being about Black people, my closest friends were male.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to lose male friends because of how they treat women, right? Okay. And going into Senegal, you know, I'm there in a new country. You gotta make friends because you gotta live.
I'm taking a deep breath because I know how some of these men act, and I'm gonna stand on business. Some of y'all ain't shit. I just gotta say it, okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, love y'all.
Yeah, there's a lot of men, and really in all the schools, like it's really like you see how in the States the school system is like mostly women teachers.
Okay.
In Senegal, it's mostly women. It's mostly men teachers. Right? Women are barely teachers. Right?
Oh, interesting.
Because women barely have jobs over there.
That's true. I do like that. I do like the Senegalese men to take care financially.
Okay, because I was
about to say that's about it though.
It's a very repressive society.
I know. That's why I said some of them ain't shit, and the ones that I'm talking about know who they are.
So what happens when I go to Senegal is that you find out that the men don't really particularly take their relationships or how they treat women seriously, right? They don't take. So
how does that affect you? Coming from being an American man, going to FAMU, wanting to be conscious, and now you're at the source, and you see that it's some motherfuckers that ain't shit over there.
I'm disgusted. I am, but not only disgusted, I start looking for a reason, right? And again, I would hate to turn this into this, but the reason that I get seems to be that what's essential to Black people's lives all over the world, whether they're in America or Jamaica or Africa.
I can't answer that question.
Religion. I mean, I guess so. I mean, I won't even say essential. What do people hold the highest? Really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And those ideas that come through.
Because I would say family is essential, but yeah.
Yeah, right. But those ideas that's in religion, they come through with how people treat each other, like how people treat the opposite sex.
Right.
And I'm just because I was so like surprised. I'm like, really? Like no, none of y'all men gonna take out the garbage? Like it's like the society is like it's, you know, I wouldn't say it's flipped because it's just different. It's not can't relate. So
well, I'll speak on it as a woman that has dated more than a few Senegalese men. Some of them were married without my knowledge. Okay. What I will say is that there is a lot of you hear of like men collecting women as like trophies. There's just a lot of that, yeah. And because you have the money to take women on dates and put them in houses and do whatever, I feel like Senegalese women are groomed like, okay, I mean, I'm getting taken care of, so I don't really care what he's doing.
But a lot of times too, like when you look at the society, the women behave because of how the men make the society basically.
And because you have more, like the Senegalese women I know and interact with are Senegalese Americans. I don't know a lot of Senegalese women from the continent.
So
their thoughts.
So take what you just said about how the women behave because the men can put them in houses and pay for this and pay for that.
Yeah.
The women behave like that's what they expect.
Oh, for sure.
And so as a man, I had to take some steps back. I had to like in order to satisfy my to meet my needs basically.
To get some yams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had to take a step back. I had to say, sir, this the way you living. Like okay, I dated some people, but then you find out like the way it's hard to meet like-minded women, especially when you are like in this mind space that I'm in. The way it's hard to meet like-minded women in America, it's the same in Africa.
That is true.
And if not harder, because people are like I'm an outsider, and people are in the mindset that I could always leave. Right, and so they may, and you have to understand that regardless of what you want from them, they're always going to think of you that you might leave. So when you leave, I have to live in this society, so I can't change and become this different person for you.
Right.
Even if I believe it, even if I believe it, because I have to exist here in the society.
That's true.
If you ever leave,
that's true.
So I respect that. The same with my friends. Like I had a friend, we would shoot the shit all the time. We just be drinking, and we'd be drinking and talking shit about the society breaking down, this and that, and just also talking about ass and titties and sports and stuff like that stuff too. But as soon as he would walk outside my door, he would be a completely different person. Like I couldn't. He wouldn't like
Would he assimilate to what people were doing? Okay, yeah. I'll also go on the record in saying that like a lot of Senegalese men, especially the ones in LA, but let me not say that. Let me backtrack. So, I'm firing shots. A lot of Senegalese men are not good lovers. I'll just start them in there because they're not taught that they have to be. They're literally taught that I just provide the house, and the money. So you can chop money like a Nigerian man, but they're not lovers like Nigerian men are lovers in terms of the sweetness that they give you and even just your sex life. So I have to put that on record as well.
Well, to add to that, women aren't as well.
Not just throwing shots at the Senegalese women.
Damn!
The whole country? Let me stop.
I love Senegalese women. They are amazing and very, very fine, gorgeous. Wow. Right? Chef kiss, right?
Right.
But
and we're talking about some before people get on here talking about not all. Don't be mad.
But what happens too, like because I believe because of the standard that men set, right? And we have to say that because we're dealing with patriarchal society,
right?
Because of the standard that men set, women are there to follow, and I believe that they're not good because the men are not good. And the few times that I've been sexually involved with Senegalese women, my mind immediately said these people do not take sex seriously like we do in the States. Pleasure during sex.
And once again, like I know people will be like, okay, y'all talking about sex and talking about different culture, but pleasure is important for your enjoyment in life, right? And I do think your culture affects that, and I do think for Senegalese in particular, it's just, I agree. I'd have to agree with that statement. It's just not important. Now, the Senegalese women I know, it matters to them.
Well,
but they are Senegalese American.
Right. So it's always when Senegalese, when my students come from America back into the classroom with other Senegalese, they get called American. Like no Senegalese attached because people want to differentiate. Like, yeah, you're American. Right, you're American now. It's just like when like somebody from Haiti that goes back to Haiti, they get robbed. Right. Because people are like, you have like
Yeah, you got money.
They try to other.
Yeah, you ain't Haitian.
Which I don't really care for. I don't like it, but it is a reality. It is a reality. Like walking around like as a black person from America, people don't know that you're not Senegalese. Like people think I'm Pula all the time because of my skin complexion. And if I can go up to you, if I go up to the guy, they won't know that I'm not Senegalese until something comes out of my mouth.
Right.
And I got so good at speaking the little Wolof, or I won't say the little, right? I'm at intermediate level, so per se. I got so good at like speaking the language the way that they speak it that people can't tell.
You were there for 7 years, so that's very believable.
And if you go to the market with me and a Senegalese person, you best believe I'm gonna get the better price.
Okay.
But so you asked about how Senegal changed me as a man.
Yeah.
It made it harder because there weren't a lot of examples.
Right. And I want to ask you a different question because I remember being offended going to Ghana. I don't remember experiencing this as much in Ivory Coast, but it could have been a language barrier thing. I remember being extremely offended at them basically calling us like Oreos or coconuts or is it a yumbo? I think they say.
Yumbo, yeah.
Because of all of the work that we do to be conscious Black people in the diaspora to go back, and it's like I'm more African than you in some of my thought process, but you're more African than me because the culture it seeps in you. But it's like, don't do that.
That happened.
They don't know how offensive that is.
Yeah. That happened. Okay, I'll give you two examples or two scenarios. Right. We went into the village. That didn't happen in the city, but when we went into the village, the little kids were tuba, like to all of us, even the Senegalese that came from Dakar.
Oh wow! Okay.
Too loud, right? First, let me say I think it's very interesting that this God figure or this God-like figure, this messenger, right? This prophet that they look up to, who they call Tuba, right? His name is Tuba, and then the name for a white foreigner is Tuba. I think it's very interesting that those two things are so close to each other. But that's neither here nor there.
Right, I want to get to the music and the fun. But let's go.
Let me say.
I know.
So here's the other thing.
I don't want to talk about white people in Africa. Go ahead.
I mean, most of the Africans on the continent have this xenophobic culture.
For sure.
So not only are you Tuba white, but they call you Nyak, right? Which means foreign black that's not Senegalese.
Okay.
Right? And so I'll be in Dakar, I'll be Nyak, right? And then in the village where people don't see many outsiders, I'm too loud. But then I got so good till I say, hey, how do you say shut the fuck up? So they didn't teach me how to say that, but they taught. I was like, hey, me wanna tobacco, come here Valejo. Like basically.
Valejo, then call me what?
I'm not black. Me wanna tobacco. I'm not black. I mean, I'm not white.
Yeah.
And pull up. I'm not white. I'm black. Motherfucker.
Right.
Hey, come here Valejo.
I like that. I'm gonna take that.
Come here Valejo.
Okay. I'm gonna record that after we finish.
Because me, like I'm solution oriented. So
right.
It's a problem. Okay, like how do I solve it? That's what my mind goes to.
Okay. Okay, and then, so you had good experiences and you had some tough experiences. Oops, see the battery. Okay, all right. Because I did have some other stuff that I want to get into, but I think I'll skip to the music. But before we get to the music segment, because music, like I said, this podcast is about joy, pleasure, all these things. Can you tell us some good experiences that you had as a Black person, and as far as your manhood?
Oh yeah, man. I think that I can't. It's hard to think about manhood in relation to like in isolation, right? So I want to first say that like I've been in pleasure. I've been around like so many amazing women in my life. So that's also why like maybe a standard like have a standard for the kind of woman that I want to be with, because I know it's a cliche about black women being strong. I want you to be like resourceful and caring about your people. Like I want you to be passionate about something, like outside of your work, like, or if your work is your passion. Like I don't want you to be an accountant and you be passionate about that. Okay, be an accountant.
Sound like you hating, bro. She might love numbers, bro.
I mean, yeah, but then okay, you love numbers, but let's see you do something outside of your job. Okay. If you don't have an accounting firm, okay, now if you're working for this,
okay,
what the company called Bank of America, and you love accounting, I got a problem with that. But no shit.
You gotta have some passion.
Yeah, so I just say I just been so privileged to be around women. So many amazing women. Not because of the things they have to do with, but because of the knowledge they have, the compassion they show, that they show each other and other people. Right? How they treat other women. Like a lot of times women, they have this little rivalry with each other. How they stay sweet and kind and loving, even though men don't return it. And so I learned a lot of what I learned about a lot of the things that I take with me as about what it is to be a good man. I get examples from the women that I know.
And I'm glad you bring that up, because I was trying to focus on men on purpose. Because trust me, we're gonna talk about the women on my podcast. But yeah, how have women shaped your manhood? Just wanting to love women better and be a better father, husband, brother,
absolutely.
Everything.
I want to be the part of the solution, right? Men that I interact with, like even else. So men that I interact with, when I see like problematic things, like if I like you're around men that cheat on their wife, I want you to know that's not okay. That's not okay with me. Like we not
can't be my friend.
We're not gonna be friends. Or like you.
I appreciate that, for the record.
When you like you talk about a woman a certain way, I'm like woman, not female. Like so, it's just little things. Like I think that like when you interact with me as a man, you gotta know that I stand for these things,
right? And
I'm not gonna allow you to abuse women in my presence. Now I might not
emotionally and physically. It sounds like, right?
Absolutely. Like none of the above, because again I'm always thinking of my sisters, my nieces, my aunties, my mothers, right, and just my friends as well that I've come to know and love. And that's not to say I don't have men. I do have men friends, but a lot of times like I gotta be limited in my friendship because like it's always if I
that happens with women too, for the record. So women, we have our party friends, we have our emotional, business event friends. So I feel like,
but
that happens.
I get like I'm gonna bring up my favorite show in the world this morning, right?
Okay.
So one of the things about manhood that I think is it makes that I want to add to my life is having those friends that are like this. It could be one.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
I want friends that got key to my house.
Yeah.
Right. I want a friend that can drive my wife to work. That I ain't gotta worry about.
No sweat, no nothing. Yeah.
Like so, one of the things that I think as a man that I want male friends. I don't want to constantly be talking about having to deal with problems as a man with women. Right. I believe there's some things that you guys can bring to the table. But I also yeah, absolutely. But I want if I have a son, I want him to have other male things. I don't want him like me. I had that one example with my uncle, right? But then, like I said, I overlooked it. I didn't think about it until I was a man, right? And so I want my son to have multiple examples of what a good man is, right? Because that's how I believe. Like the parents that keep their children like locked up, right? Like so strict. I believe you gotta have like some outlet.
There's gotta be a balance because your child is getting out of your house at some point, and you have to prepare them.
Like I have some parents that when their boy acts up in school, says, "Oh, I'm gonna take him out of sports," and I'm saying that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Leave him there. Let him work through it.
build
Like,
the discipline, the camaraderie.
yeah, and I'm like, not only that, he has multiple examples of men that like it's not. I'm pretty sure even in our similarities as men, there are a lot of differences that children can see, people can see, right? And so leave him there. He'll at the minimum he'll get some discipline, right? He'll get discipline. He'll have more examples, and then he has me as a black male teacher. I'm pretty sure I'm very different from the coaches, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just I would like to have more examples of positive men that take women into account when they speak.
Woo! Now this motherfucker's spitting now to take women into account.
Yeah, because like it's a lot.
I mean, I'm laughing, but it really is a challenge to find men that really do that, like on a serious level. Like, okay, I want to partner with this woman. What are her goals? What are her desires? Mm-hmm. What are her triggers, her traumas? Mm-hmm. What are her love languages? You know, what brings her pleasure sexually? What brings her pleasure non-sexually? How does she relate to people? I want to make her feel safe emotionally. I want to make her feel safe financially. Like, there are so many things that men are not taught to consider when it comes to taking care of a woman. And as women, we are not taught to assess those things and have ownership of what we need before a man comes into our life. Like, we don't even know that we need to be solid in these things and know what we want and know what our deal breakers are.
You know, that's like we talk off camera too, and that's a part of why I'm choosing. So I don't know how to say something.
Yeah, that ain't everybody business.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So somebody might say, "Hey, how you doing?" From seeing you on the podcast. Don't block your blessings now. No.
But yeah,
you're choosing people carefully now at this stage of your life.
Yeah, because we all have things that we have to keep working on. Like I think the work never stops.
It doesn't. You lying to yourself if you think you can be in. I just saw a TikTok that was like, so you get into a healthy relationship and you think life is going to be easy. No, it gets harder. Mm-hmm. Because now, there we go. Now it's like, oh, I'm tripping. I'm the problem. Yes, you tripping. Yes, you tripping. Yes, you got to do some shadow work. You got to do some mirror work. Yeah. You got to learn how to, like, an analogy I like to use is when you feel like you're getting angry, I consider that like the kettle is boiling. The water's already boiling. Okay. You have to learn how when the one or two bubbles are starting to pop up to the top. From then, if you want to have a long and healthy relationship, you have to be like, ooh, okay, this is bothering me. Why is it bothering me? Is it an actual trigger, trauma? Do I feel disrespected? And communicate that with your partner. Mm-hmm. And pray that you have a partner that you can calmly communicate with and be respected, right? So when we're talking about you're actually safe, that's taking it to a different level of like being an emotional man in a relationship. And as women, we have to learn how to, I'm talking to y'all, I'm talking to us, we have to learn how to create safe spaces for men to do that and be that for us. And a lot of times we don't know how to do that. Yeah. We don't. Yeah. We don't know how to allow you all to vent. We don't know how. We don't even realize that you guys have feelings. It sounds silly, but I'm being honest. Like, some women are just like, yeah, his feelings was hurt. Yeah, his feelings was hurt. Yeah. No,
I have some moments too, but I mean, yeah. But I think it's just like you gotta, like, once you understand, like somebody told me, like, you're dealing with it's a human.
Correct.
It's a human. So,
but okay, so this is an important question for manhood. I don't think men are socialized to view us as human.
1,000%. 1,000%. I've been. Yes. We eat.
We use the bathroom. We get annoyed. We get tired. We feel sexy. We don't feel sexy. Like, we have opinions. Like, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean,
men are socialized.
It's tough because everything reinforces what we believe.
That's true.
Reinforces everything. That's true. Like, from the art, it's like
oh my God.
It's like trying to have a conversation about loving yourself in Africa to be in general, because everything around them is skin bleaching, it's light skin, it's white this, it's
America this, Europe this,
everything, like education from everything from God to everything. And so I used to teach my kids, I'm like, what happens if your gods they look like you? They look like you for centuries. And somebody takes that most important thing, that thing that's the most essential thing to your existence, and puts something on top of it that's white or that's non-black. Right. What happens to your idea of self then? Right? Hundreds of years later. Yeah. So
we've been jacked up, y'all.
Yeah. So I think I agree with you, man. I mean, there's work we gotta do, and as a man, I know I could be more vocal. I could do more things, but I don't. It's I find it hard to be like trying to have a rational conversation with somebody that's being irrational. I find that very hard to do. And then not only that it's hard, it's something I don't want to do. I don't want to beat my head against the wall.
I'm gonna connect you with some people offline, because some people we already share mutually from like Tallahassee, Atlanta, but there's some people in South Florida. I think he lives in Tampa. He does a lot of like black manhood, black fatherhood type events. Okay. I don't know how spiritual he is, but that's not the point. Yep. The point is to connect with like-minded people, meet them where they are. And I think the older you get, you start to realize that, like, yeah, I don't have to love every aspect of you, but we can connect on this. Like, you doing stuff for black men and you doing stuff for their mental health and for the youth. Absolutely. I can work with you, I can work with you on that, but like, maybe you're not the best with women, or maybe you're not the best with money, or whatever. Okay, we don't collaborate on that, but we collaborate on this. You ready to talk about some fun stuff? Some pleasures?
Whatever, yes.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot of serious talk, but it's still MILF Ministry Podcast. So we're going to get into a little bit of fun. We've been talking for a long time. I'm not going to take too much more of your time. And thank you for your time, and thank you. So now I'm going to introduce some new segments to the podcast. Okay. So I like this segment because if we were in LA, the next thing I would have is some honey, because everything about me is honey, 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 honey for your spirit. So if we were in LA, I would give you a little bit of honey, and I would give myself a little bit of honey, because I think it's a nice segue, because the opposite of war is love, right? So now we got the aggression out the way. Now we can talk about some pleasure. So you can talk about actually whooping somebody's ass. Oh, but okay. So the honey let's imagine we're a little bit of honey for our spirit. We imaginative honey. Now we're gonna talk about shooting some shots. So me and my girls were talking. So first of all, I love music like I love people. I fall in love with songs. Like, I remember falling in love with HER in 2017, her song Facts. And I remember like loving Inglewood Sir. I mean, he just goes by Sir, but on Instagram, Inglewood Sir, like, it's called The Canvas. And as I'm listening to the lyrics of the song, he's talking about, like, I can see you tired of living with your back against the wall, and I know you're tired, or I know you're fragile. You might end up breaking if you fall, but I don't want to see you fall apart. Girl, I don't know where to start. You're such a work of art. And I was just like, damn, you love women for real. Like, you can see that she's fragile. You don't want to see her break and fall apart. So I say all that to say, like, with me, we can't really talk about music unless you can talk to me about your favorite part of a song, or a song that's like impactful. Yeah. But it's MILF Ministry. We're going to have a little fun. Okay. We're going to talk about some subtle songs you could play, like if you wanted to shoot your shot, or if you've ever been chilling with a woman and a song comes on and you like, is she flirting with me? Wait a minute. The mood changed a little bit. And then we're going to talk about some songs that you know what it is. Like Tank Win Me or some shit like that. Like, you ain't confused if somebody throw that on. Yeah. But yeah, is there a song that comes to mind if you're hanging with someone, and you be like, I'm gonna throw this in a little bit and change the mood a little bit?
To be honest, like, I really love this song by Babyface called Red Dress.
Okay.
Like,
I haven't heard it, so.
Yeah, it's
tough. What part is your flirting part?
put on your red dress. Put on your red dress.
Mm-hmm.
Put on your dancing shoes.
Okay.
Put on some smell good. I want a romance with you. I'm not singing too, by the way, because yeah, I'm shy.
Yeah, we just I talk my lyrics, okay? I ain't playing with y'all, but yeah.
So yeah, and just that, and then okay, let me mention Joe too. Why just be friends?
That's a good one.
So maybe shit, that's bro, man.
Okay.
I just, to me, I'm like, if I were like at a bar, which is like my kind of vibe. If I'm at a bar or a lounge where the music is not quite loud enough where you can hear me talk, right? It's dark where I can see you, but not really, you know, see all the things that's going on. Like that's my vibe, where it's straight chill, nobody bumping into each other.
Right.
So that's my vibe. That's my kind of vibe. So if something like that Joe pop on, why just be friends? And I see something down there, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna send a drink over there, and I'm like, how you doing? How you doing? And so I'm gonna make sure she knows for me. I'm gonna walk right over there, because I think that one of the things I think I'm confident. So when I feel it, they don't. I know. Okay, no. All right.
So does the music matter or not? Because to me, the wrong playlist can have me pack my whole pussy up. Okay.
Well,
because you playing the wrong shit. Well, then you done killed the vibe.
Nah, because I think music matters. If she playing the wrong music, give me the aux. You know, I had a Senegalese girl.
Give me the aux.
She loved Maxwell. But she, every time she called me, can you play Maxwell? Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Because that's silky smooth coming on. Come on, something. The mellow smooth version coming on. Cause that's what she want to hear when she around me. So yeah. Music, it don't matter because I change it. Go ahead.
Okay. And then, do you have a song that's like guaranteed to get you in the mood? Like for me, I'll just start it out because I ain't even giving with suggestions. I ain't gonna give y'all all my tea. Okay. Maybe if I start drinking and smoking on here, I'll start telling more of my business.
I'm glad that I got to think too.
Yeah, and I didn't even prep you. I didn't even prep them, y'all. Like usually, I'm supposed to do some pre-questions. So he off the dome with it. But for me, Tank. Sexy, like I can still remember an orgasm from 2018 from Tank Sexy, and that's an album cut. That wasn't even a single, but yeah, that song, like, that song got some good memories attached to it, and just like sonically, when it starts playing, it for me it just shifts the energy in the room. So like, what's a song for you where you like, oh yeah? You know, this got to be on the playlist.
Because you said Tank, I'm gonna say a Tank song too. But
come on, Tank is with the shits.
But there's some from He Who Should Not Be spoken about.
I mean, hey, I feel he's off my playlist, but I mean, he got the jams if you're thinking of the same person.
But look, I have so much music like that I listen to on a daily basis. It's hard to choose one, but I'm gonna choose one. And two.
Come on, everybody, yeah, Tank, you can do two.
Yeah, Tank. Something about Tank called So Close.
Ooh.
And I don't know if you know that song. It's about being very close to busting up. But the way this song is, I'm like, I leave, but I feel it.
Right. Tank, he gonna make you feel it.
Yeah. He got.
Did he put a little gospel vibe in it? Because he know how to throw some.
I don't know, man. It's from that first album. I think it's from that. No, it's not from the first. It's from the second album. I think the same album with Maybe I Deserve. Back when it first.
You mean like you talking about original Tank? You ain't because I'm talking about already money Tank.
No, I'm talking about white bandana, white tank top.
Oh, you're talking about raw Tank. Okay, I gotta go pull that up. I gotta go dig that up. Okay,
So Close. Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, because I'm talking about R&B money Tank. Okay,
so that's I'll say just that one. It's some sex love, sex music Tank too. But
yeah,
I'll stick with that. So Close.
Okay. All right, ladies. So if y'all with Olujimi and he pull out that song, now you already know what time it is. I'm just letting you know. You didn't hear from me. But I don't know. I feel like in a while we should have another conversation, just like a more lighthearted. Because like I said, today was focusing on like manhood and becoming the man you never saw. And I thought that the discussion was really, really important to hear someone that was like, I didn't have the example, but I went after the knowledge. I think the women that watch my podcast would like to hear it, and I think men can benefit from it because I do have them.
Look, that's why Tupac comes to mind again.
Okay.
Tupac said, what do you say? I don't know how to be a man. I teach myself how to be a man, and I'm still learning.
Okay.
And I'm still learning.
Yeah.
That's what I tell you that. Yeah, I'm teaching myself how to be a man.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning.
And that's no joke. So kudos to you for setting out on that journey. Because I'm a woman and I feel like I have great examples from like my grandmother and my mother and, you know, just different women in my life. Yeah. I'm thinking of all the stuff that I know how to do that I really take for granted. That what would life look like for me if I didn't have that foundation and I'm just trying to be a woman and settle myself. Yeah.
I don't want my kids to have that. I know we get light, but I'm sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't want my kids to ever feel how I feel about.
I feel you on that. Yeah.
So
I feel you on that because even like I feel like I had a good childhood. There's still things that I want to leave behind. Mm-hmm. And there are lots of things that I want to pass on. So I feel you on that. Like, yeah, no, I want my children moving forward. I want my woman to have this experience from a black man. I want my children to have this experience from a black father. So I respect that. And that's why I was happy to have you here. But yeah, maybe I can bring you back another time. Or maybe we could even do a Zoom. And we can have a little bit more fun talk. But I think this was a good conversation to have. And yeah. So once again, huh?
You said you had 3 songs, ain't it? Or 2?
No. I just named my song and that was it. Cause like we've been talking for I don't even know how long.
I got you.
And they're gonna see me all the time. You know, they don't get to see you all the time. So yeah, I had my tank sexy. Now I got a whole MILF and Chill playlist. I got a honey driven playlist. So if you don't know what to play for your favorite MILF, I got songs for that. If you don't know what to play when it's time to get it in, I got songs for that. You may not like all of my songs, but you're gonna like 1 or 2, honey. And she gonna like them as well. You're welcome in advance. But yeah, thanks for participating in the relaunch of MILF Ministry podcast. Give them your name and whatever socials or whatever you want to share. Yeah, it's public. So.
Well, yeah, my name is Olujimi Kuti. You can find me on really on Instagram at King Kunta SWM. I think that's it. 21 maybe. I don't necessarily post very much nowadays, but I used to post a lot. Okay. And there's like 200 posts on there. So I'm going to start using my social media again in the near future. Just had some things I need to work through in my life, and getting back to that place where I want to talk some shit again. So, yeah.
And in terms of black manhood, what kind of collaborations? Because I mean, speaking to the world, what kind of collaborations are you interested in when it comes to black manhood or just manhood in general? Yeah.
Well, I guess if you like, I'm open to having a conversation about many different topics. I'm open to participating in events that have to do with like maybe alternative ideas to what a man is supposed to be. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you know, just educating the men, also just anything that has to do with black people in general, women or men, boys or girls. But like I said, I do believe that there are a lot of bad examples of what a man is supposed to be. And when I say bad, I just mean examples that aren't useful, that don't move us forward as a people.
Right.
So, yeah, anything that we could talk about, discuss, I'm open to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm Ayodele, your motivational MILF, half business, half creative. You can find me on @MILF Ministry. Pretty much everywhere. I'm at MILF Ministry on TikTok, at MILF Ministry on YouTube, at MILF Ministry on Instagram, Facebook, and thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna have to redo my intro and outro at some point. I'll probably cut this out, but yeah, I'm excited. The video element is new, and obviously the production quality will get better. But we starting, we here, and we moving forward. So once again, thank you for being a guest and being vulnerable. Thank you guys for tuning in, and it's the beginning, y'all. So come on, come on.